Today we'll be talking about LinkedIn advertising with the owner of Abraham Global Marketing. His name is Gilbert Abraham, and I met Gilbert on an airplane as I was going to San Diego for a social media marketing conference. We sat right next to each other and we ended up talking. He mentioned that he only does exclusively LinkedIn advertising. So I offered we make an interview, and he agreed on it. So we shot it. We shot it mid-air. And that's why you hear a lot of background noise as the plane is flying, and you'll see us interacting with the flight crew. However, content is gold, and I hope you guys take a lot of it because there's a lot of good strategies. Gilbert shares some amazing tactics and insights on how to get LinkedIn to work for you and to get your campaigns to be successful, and how to get your advertising spend on LinkedIn to be as effective as you would like it to be. If you like that interview, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, leave a comment, leave a review, share some feedback. I love to hear it. I'm curious to know how you guys feel about those interviews, and hopefully get some ideas on improving or what should be added as a topic. So let me know.
Watch my money grow, watch my money grow watch my money grow like a proud parent. Yeah, my money getting old, and it's colder than the snow bunny. Happy get money, honey.
Hey everyone, this is Gilbert Abraham. My company is called AGM. We're known as the LinkedIn Guys. Based out of New Jersey, we solely specialize on LinkedIn. We work with small and mid-sized companies in the US, UK, Canada, Switzerland, Brazil, helping them maximize LinkedIn and how they can leverage it better. So I'm sitting here with my good friend that we just met. We actually on a plane that's flying right now.
We are above, I don't know, what, 10,000 feet right now?
But this is going to be fun. It's going to be exciting.
It's a 10,000 foot interview.
Yeah, it's a 10,000 foot interview. I like that. That's a good name for it.
That's the topic.
All right, so tell me, what do you want me to start?
Well, we were talking right when we were taxiing for takeoff at the airport.
Yeah.
You mentioned how what's a good way to set up a LinkedIn strategy, like how to start with first having people get to know you.
Yeah, organic content.
Right. So can you tell a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're a small business owner, let's say you're in technology, or you're in construction, or you're in logistics, whatever, and you planning on taking full advantage of LinkedIn. One, you got to understand there's over 610 million professionals on the platform right now, so it's a growing platform in 200 countries, and 70% of the growing members are outside of the US, so there's a lot of opportunity globally that's happening. And one of the best ways to use it, if LinkedIn ads is one of the avenues you want to take, you want to start first by testing out the content that you want to go after. So create some organic content. I normally choose video as a great way because right now LinkedIn favor video heavily.
Yeah, I think all the platforms do now. They're pushing video content. I mean, also just for everyone that will be watching and maybe listening this, speaking of video, we are shooting this improv on video, live, uncut, unedited, and unscripted. This thing happened within the past 1 hour. Yeah. So speaking of video, this is so accessible. You can do this like if we have solid internet on this flight, I can have this for you by the time we land, which is not going to happen probably. But the capabilities are there. So what Gilbert is saying, video is through as it is for all the platforms, including Facebook, Instagram. And here the LinkedIn Pro is telling you LinkedIn is also pushing that content up in the ranks. So
definitely, I would tell you some of our clients that transition from just doing images and text content to doing a combination of text and video content. Video views reaches 2, 3, even 5,000 views within a week of putting that content up because there's that truth to it, right? People are able to see you, they're able to create that trust much faster. Now imagine that you take that video content that's doing extremely well organically and implement it into a LinkedIn advertising strategy by identifying a wider audience that you don't have access to yet, but you have access to it to LinkedIn ads. Target that audience either by specific companies or specific roles, and then zoom by sharing that video content with them. Now, you don't need a 10-minute or 15-minute video to do this. You can start with just 2 to 3 minutes long and really hit on those key points that you want that person that's going to watch it to see it. See how that content and how to engage with it. Go back, look at the metrics from that first ad.
Okay.
More of an awareness type of ad.
Okay.
Then you're gonna run a second ad afterward, which is called consideration ad. This is where you're gonna offer them something. It could be a case study. It could be a PDF or guide.
This is what we'll call lead magnet.
Exactly. So it's really creating a way that you walking into the process like dating, right? You go to the first date, then the second date, and then the kiss come in by the third date, maybe.
Okay. Yeah. So when you get that first video that you're saying, the 2, 3, 5 minute video maybe, you target it to cold audience, right?
Yes.
And then when you put it as the second ad, like when you see the engagements, you use the same video or you upload that video again?
Good question.
And start it.
So one way, you could do it 2 ways. One, if that video is engaging extremely well, and a lot of people are engaging with it, they're liking it, they're commenting on it, use that same video. Just maybe you could cut it down a little if you want, and then add a call to action to it.
Okay.
So then when somebody click on it, they'll listen to it, and then after that, they can click on the link and it'll lead them to the landing page that they need back then.
Okay. So would LinkedIn favor the social proof that video collects? Like if it's got likes, shares, would it favor? Because Facebook would. Like one of the strategies, like tactics for Facebook, you would put a post, even if it's any post, a video, let's say, and then people engage with it, likes, comments, whatever, and then you take the post ID, and then you create ad based on existing posts, and you just put that post ID, and you push that up, and then Facebook just uses that engagement that is already collected, and pushes it. It favors it within it gives you better click-throughs. Yes, right.
Because it's already performing
exactly.
Well. So they do favor video the most on that. But what you also got to look at for LinkedIn is that audience that you're targeting.
All right.
You have to make sure you have the right audience with the right message. So that means that if you're targeting technology industries, as an example, computer software companies, if you're able to have a list of companies that you want to target and upload that list onto LinkedIn, that is more effective than just doing more targeting in the second stage.
Okay, so you target by company. What else would be the target? Company, title,
roles.
Okay.
Yep. Specific roles, or even look at some of your clients and look at if there's any specific skill sets that they have. You could add that on there. So niche targeting is important because LinkedIn cost per click is so much more expensive than anywhere else.
Yeah, we all know that.
You want to make sure that it's being used properly.
Okay.
And that's an error that I see a lot of people make when they put the ad. They will check the box that will tell you to enable audiences similar to that one. Uncheck that box. Because if you check that box, LinkedIn will find other people that may be and may not be similar or have past role.
So it dilutes
the data.
Okay.
Completely. So that is extremely important for you guys to know.
That's a good tip. Another thing that you mentioned is the tool that you use to find those audiences and how you utilize that. It's actually a tool provided by LinkedIn. It's called Sales Navigator, right?
Yes.
All right. So can you speak a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So on LinkedIn, you have the free account, which is basic.
Yeah.
Then you have what's called premium, which is called Business Plus.
Okay.
This is where they give you access to more data in terms of the amount of people you can research and get access to. Then you have Sales Navigator, which is Ultimate Premium. And the difference is one, pricing, and two, the more access to data that you have. On the free one, of course, it's free. So the Business Plus is normally $59.99 a month if you do it month to month.
Does that give you access to Sales Navigator?
It doesn't give you access to Sales Navigator or Business Plus.
Okay.
But then Sales Navigator is its own platform.
Okay.
And it's basically separate from regular LinkedIn. And it's like a whole separate window from regular LinkedIn.
So basically, it's like a tool in addition to LinkedIn, by LinkedIn.
Yes.
That helps you target.
You prospect and target the right people.
Okay. So Facebook used to have something like that called Ads Manager. they integrated it. Now it's all within the Facebook Business Manager, but it used to be a separate platform where you would set up your ads and then push them to Facebook.
I'm glad you mentioned that. So, like when you compare Facebook Ads Manager, you will have LinkedIn Campaign Manager.
Okay.
Right? While Sales Navigator is like regular LinkedIn, but on steroid.
Okay.
So where you have access to the searches, you have access to title, companies, revenue size. So think of it as like a Zoom info or like, but updated.
Okay.
Because people are putting real data, it's first party data. Once they change job, they update their LinkedIn account.
All right. So bottom line, Sales Navigator is a tool to
use for prospecting. So use that first to build out the audience that you're going after and research them and reach out and engage them. Then bring in LinkedIn ads on top of it.
Okay. So now we have the video. We ran into cold audiences. We got some engagement on it.
Yeah.
We saw what the engagement and who's engaging with it. So the next step is what? Take that video and turn it into some kind of a call to action.
Yep, that's the consideration stage because you're going from awareness stage to consideration stage to opportunity stage.
And you're using the same video, or you're changing it up with something else.
Yes, you could either use the same video, but you would cut it down a little.
All right.
So then you have like the key message you want people to see and get from it, and then you have that call to action at the end.
Okay, and what that call to action is keeping them in LinkedIn with a lead form, or you're taking them off LinkedIn at this stage?
I would say
sending them
because at that stage you just want to see if they're going to take some form of action, right? So you will take them off LinkedIn to see how that works out by taking them to that landing page where they can download a case study or some type of guide, and then analyze that data right after you do that campaign, see how well it performed, then you lay on top of it LinkedIn lead gen form, which is inside LinkedIn, right? So you're testing it outside to see how it goes, and then after that you're testing it inside LinkedIn.
So you retarget the people that interacted with your ads, and then you send them the lead gen form right away.
Yeah.
Okay, but what if the landing page has a form on it already for the lead magnet?
That's fine. If it has, that's okay. But I would say what's going to be important here, because with the right targeting audience, you're going to get the traffic. However, if your landing page copy is not up to par, then you will see a big drop off. One thing I normally tell people to look at, make sure you add the insight tag from LinkedIn on your website to know exactly what's the traffic that's coming in from LinkedIn going to your website when you're doing that second phase.
For those that don't know, what's the insight tag?
Insight tag is a small piece of code that LinkedIn gives you access to that you will add on your WordPress site or whatever site it is. That think of it like a Google Analytics for LinkedIn.
Right, or the Facebook pixel.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So this is the tracking that LinkedIn gives you.
Yeah.
So you can get your conversions and everything on the platform.
So you can see everything that's happening.
Okay, all right.
And then you'll be able to, once you have all three phases running and they've been tested, then you have a machine that's available to you. So I actually did and published an article on just LinkedIn lead gen form in Social Media Marketing Examiner. Last year. So if anybody's interested, you can just Google my name.
We'll put it in the show notes, all the links and everything for connecting.
Cool.
I'll get it after we're done recording. All right. So what's the best industries that you think LinkedIn is good for? Like the best niche industries that you've seen some success with?
Good questions. We've been fortunate to work with a lot of different industries, and I can honestly say one industry that surprised me the most with LinkedIn is the senior care franchise industry.
Oh, all right.
And I'll tell you why. We've been fortunate to work with over 60 franchises around the country, training their franchisees how to use LinkedIn, and then implement some of the tactics that I mentioned. Now, if it's a senior care franchisee, they're working with the seniors and maybe assisted living. So what we've done in terms of case studies is we target strategic partners. So the social workers, geriatric care managers, the financial managers.
So what would they advertise for? Like, what's
Good question. We didn't do an ad. We did an organic outreach. So we identified social workers that work with seniors, and then as the franchisee, we reach out to these guys to set up speaking engagement at their hospitals or their centers, and then they'll bring the referrals in.
Okay, so the basically the centers were trying to get
Centers
people.
of influence.
Okay, so they were trying to get people to speak and bring partners. Is it
So
that?
basically, what we did, the senior care franchisees, they want to work with seniors to help them move into assisted living centers.
Okay.
Now, you don't know whose seniors or whose family has a senior that needs your help. So you need to talk to a social worker or a geriatric care manager to figure out what senior needs your help.
Okay.
So we use LinkedIn to identify and reach out to those strategic partners, and then they'll bring in the referrals and the new business.
Okay, so that's a way for them
It's
to
a
generate
very
business.
creative way, yeah.
It is a very creative way. I mean, it's the first time I hear. I mean, it's a good strategy.
Yeah, it works extremely well. One of our clients generated over $20,000 in the first 6 months of new business just from doing that tactic. And actually, the first 2 weeks, we changed her profile to really show an emotional story on how she got involved in the industry. She generated $3,500.
Okay. That's interesting. I mean, I never really met anyone that has worked with senior care centers.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's an industry like any other, and they also need business,
Yeah.
right?
So that's one. Technology companies are really good, especially the one that has demos. So if you
Okay.
have a good campaign running on Sales Navigator and also ads, you can draw in a lot of people for the demos.
So what do you say, or what do you think, or what is your opinion rather, on the email ads on LinkedIn? Like I get a lot of those, and I've heard people get a lot of those.
Yes.
And a lot of people compare them to the messenger ads on Facebook that everybody's doing. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people are doing and trying to get into nowadays.
Yeah.
Where you can reach out to people within Messenger. I noticed that, and I personally know some people that have complained to me about people reaching to them within LinkedIn and acting like it in a non-professional level, which would be expected from LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Like, what is do you have any
Good
experience
question.
with
Yeah,
like
I
the
have.
LinkedIn?
And I can tell you one thing. A lot of people are doing the email ad wrong.
I get a lot from, and maybe that's just because I get fined by these people for some reason, from recruiters.
Yeah.
Like it seems like those are like the biggest email advertisers out there.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, right? Marketers, when they're, even recruiters, there's some form of marketing involved to it. When there's a platform that gives you access to such targeted audience, some people abuse it and don't use it effectively. And when that happens, that impacts the overall platform. So that's a big challenge with LinkedIn, and people get turned off by it.
Yeah.
So that's why when we work with clients, one thing we talk about a lot is leveraging content first to draw the attention, to get the engagement, and then that way when you approach them, because you have to still reach out to them directly to build that relationship, you leverage that piece of content. It's more subtle, So one part of our process is we'll say follow, engage, connect.
Okay.
So before we even connect and send anything, we'll follow and engage with the content of that potential prospect.
Just so you get on those people's radars, so they've seen you.
So it's all about attention.
Right.
So you gotta grab their attention somehow.
Okay, yeah, everybody's fighting for that attention
Yeah.
nowadays, right?
Exactly. So if you're able to create a strategy to grab their attention, that puts you in a better position. That now when you start reaching out, it's a more engaging conversation.
Okay.
And
right.
sometimes, we have clients that we have to use a multi-touch approach where LinkedIn is one of the touches. Then we have to do emails, then we have to do mailers, then we have to do calls. So it becomes like a whole marketing campaign that goes beyond just LinkedIn, but LinkedIn is just one part of it.
It does revolve around it, though. It's in the core. It starts and ends
with
in
that.
LinkedIn.
Exactly.
Okay.
But then everything else around it, because we got to look at it now. with
It's all
60,
relevant
18 touches.
nowadays,
Yeah.
right? So you have to basically find them.
Just like Facebook can be in the mix as well.
Yeah.
Because if you're able to pull up a list of potential clients and do some retargeting on Facebook, then
So how would you retarget people from LinkedIn on Facebook?
good question. So there used to be a strategy that a lot of people use that they changed recently, where you could you were able to export all the contacts from LinkedIn with their email and then upload it onto Facebook and do some retargeting.
But would those in LinkedIn, would those be their work emails? Because sometimes in Facebook you'd be
it's
a
either
personal.
work or personal.
So what would be the match rate? You know, like do you have anything?
It varies. There's no exact way to tell because everybody's profile is different and account is different.
All right.
And some people, although they're in a position where they're used to LinkedIn heavily, they'll probably use another personal email because they don't want everything that goes to LinkedIn go to that email.
Okay.
So it's not 100% accuracy to our science, but it's still an opportunity to take advantage of.
Okay, so you mentioned the senior care, the tech companies that have demos, especially. How would they go about promoting those demos? They would just reach out within an ad, or they be sign up for a demo, or live, some kind of a live webinar or something like. What will be the strategy?
It depends on the demo, but what I've seen work well. One, if you set up a strategy where you drive the people with content, like a quick video content, and then you use that to do the ads, and then in the ad, you're inviting them to attend a webinar.
Okay.
And then in the webinar, it could be 20, 30 minutes. However, then you share the value that you bring, and then you talk about the demo at the end. So that's a little longer approach, but if you're in person that need to get things going right now, then that's when you create a series of video content, and then you have a call to action at the end. Say, hey, if you want a demo, click on the link below, and then somebody will reach out to you.
That makes sense. And what would be the reach out be? Within LinkedIn, or they would ask for email?
Or email. Depends on how you have the form set up.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And earlier you mentioned, when we were off camera, you mentioned that you work with a lot of companies that are trying to get onto the US market.
Yes.
Yeah? So can you touch on that a little bit?
Absolutely. So with the growth of LinkedIn, there are a lot of companies who are doing amazing in the world in other countries such as Brazil, Australia, UK, Canada, and don't really have a base in the US yet, and they want to penetrate this market. So instead of them flying down here and kind of set up an office right away, they want to test to see if they're able to build relationship, because we have all this technology available to us. So they come to a firm like us when we lay out a plan and identify their audience, do some heavy research onto that audience, and then start developing content and start reaching out to them on LinkedIn to help them set up introductory conversations. And then these conversations could lead to a demo or a webinar. And now once they have a base of potential customers, now it makes sense to travel to come here to the US to actually meet those people face to face.
So basically they're setting up, leveling the ground for them
setting up the foundation.
Right.
And this is where we come in, because we're able to help them leverage LinkedIn to do that.
Okay, so have you worked, what countries have you worked with?
So right now we have Brazil, we have the UK, we have Australia, we have Switzerland, we have Canada, and we're looking to do more. So if you out there and you're interested in penetrating the US market,
that's the man right there.
We can help you. You know, our company AGM can definitely help.
Yeah, for sure. So can you give a tip on someone looking to boost and like better their LinkedIn profile? Like what's the best way to get your profiles
to get your profile
like nowadays?
out there? The very first thing you want to do is not even go on the profile. I want you to Google something called Social Selling Index Score. Social Selling Index Score, SSI. When you Google that, you see a link on Google that tell you to get your score for free. When you click on it, it will pair up with your LinkedIn profile, and it will tell you what your social selling index score is.
Okay.
It's between 0 to 100.
It's a free tool?
Yes.
All right.
And if it's under 50, that means you have a lot of work to do, but it also shows you where you need to work on your LinkedIn profile. Once you look at that, then you can go to an expert like myself or anybody else and say, hey, here is my social selling index score. I want to improve my LinkedIn profile. What do I need to do? We can help you read it, or you could read it and do some research on YouTube and watch some videos, and then start updating your background image, your headshot, your headline, your summary, your experience, your recommendation, your publication, the organization, and also in your summary. That's by far one of the most important part of your LinkedIn profile. You want to put it in a perspective of the audience that you're serving. make it me centric.
Okay, so put out what you can do for people and how you can help them rather than.
I'll give you an example. So if you go to my LinkedIn profile, I have specific quotes on what clients had told us that they needed help with.
Okay.
Such as our sales team, we've been in business for 40 years. We're a manufacturing company. We normally pick up the phone and then take orders. Now all of our clients are either selling their business or they're retiring. We need to get some new business in the pipeline and we're in a crunch for time. What do we do? So you gotta think like that potential audience think and use the words that they would use.
Okay.
To really show the challenge that they have and how you can solve it.
So best way to optimize it, just make sure you talk in your potential client's language.
Yes.
And using keywords, is it still work
Especially
nowadays?
Keywords are helpful, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't want to be too technical when it comes to keywords. You want to make it flow, right? Like a story. And if you could do it in first person, I normally strongly recommend that.
So how much of posting you would recommend to be done on LinkedIn? Like how often?
Wow.
You know, some people have like for Facebook, you should be posting 3 times a day, 5 times a day.
Depends.
Instagram.
I don't like to give a specific number because it varies per industry. I've seen 1 post a day work. I've seen 1 post a week work. Right now, I'm experimenting where I'm doing 1 video post a week, and then I'm engaging as much as I can on each video post.
Okay. So what's the best way to post content originally created and written on LinkedIn or for LinkedIn, or post a link to a blog post, or post a link to an article that you, because I see a lot of people just posting links to articles to like New York Times and Forbes and all that.
2013 and 2014, link to article work fine, but now if you can do native, such as upload videos, or you have an article, use LinkedIn Article Publisher and actually have the article published on LinkedIn.
Okay,
It works in your favor for SEO purposes. We have one of our articles read by over 20,000 people.
On LinkedIn or off?
On LinkedIn,
Yeah.
but most of our viewers come from Google.
Okay, so Google would rank LinkedIn content in the search?
Not immediately, but over a period of a year and a half of true engagement and organic engagement happening to that content, and you having the right keywords.
Okay, so Google would pick that up into the search and it'll
Yes.
include it?
Yes.
Okay. All right, guys, we're having drinks and food service offer, but we're going to keep going on this. So what about pages, like business pages?
Company pages are being underutilized right now, and there's a lot of opportunity in that space as well, because LinkedIn has revamped the company pages, and you actually need that to do some really good LinkedIn targeted ads. So I would recommend that to anyone. Oh, we got candy. Look at that, guys. Do we get actual food?
I don't know. What is like one advice, like one thing that if you want to be on LinkedIn, if you want to be, I'm good.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet. Yeah, we're busy. We're working.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like one advice for someone that wants to be on LinkedIn and wants to be successful, or like someone that wants to kill it on LinkedIn. What's the first thing
So if you
that
want to
they
become
should
a
be doing?
LinkedIn rockstar, start with a plan. Don't just jump into it. Lay it out, create your content library, figure out exactly what's your end goal here. If it's appointment, if it's prospects, how you're gonna get them, what's the messaging, what's important to them. Really lay the plan out. I would say if you can spend about 60% of your time on the plan and then 40% of your time on implementation, you will be successful.
Okay, and then plan it, then make sure your profile is up to date, make sure your keywords
profile,
are,
content, right? Messaging.
Okay, and then call you.
And then call me.
All right, where can, what's the best way for people to find
So,
you?
couple ways. One, connect with me on LinkedIn, Gilbert Abraham. You can follow me or connect with me. I'm very open. And then also, you can check out our company's website, abrahamglobal.com. We We have tons of video content on there for free. You can spend your time watching some of our videos, learning from some of the stuff that my team and I share.
That was actually a question I was going to say. You have any resources where people can go and look for information? Just go on your website.
Tons of videos on the website, and we're about to set up a podcast on there as well.
Okay, so for everybody who's listening or watching this is your guy for LinkedIn. Make sure you reach out to him. I'll put some notes in the show notes, some links there for you. And this is the first ever interview that's done on 10,000 feet above ground. We're actually in a plane flying. You can probably tell by the background noise and the flight attendants that are passing us. I'll take some water.
Yes,
water and water for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So that's it.
Do you have seltzer water?
I do have seltzer water. Do you want seltzer or regular?
Regular.
There you go.
That's it for us.
Thank you guys.
For now.
Pleasure.
And
this was awesome.
Yeah, and we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.